Morning everyone, and welcome to our day trading setup session here, February 24th, 2022. Obviously a lot going on today. We did have Russia actually attack Ukraine overnight, and there have been significant moves in most of the markets that we track. So we're going to go through those and figure out what's going to happen with this, where markets will go, and how we can take advantage of it, even though this is obviously not a great situation, and one that we certainly don't ever want to happen, but we still have to work our way through it and make the best of it, no matter what else is going on out there. So let's jump right into it here. Let me bring up, let's go to Forex Factory and just check our calendar for the day. So we've got Wednesday here, we've got 8:30. Actually, we just had the GDP quarter over quarter. It looks like that is exactly the same as it was forecasted, so that's a positive thing. Unemployment claims are slightly lower, good, and then GDP price index has gone up. So all those are positive numbers. I don't know how much of an effect they're going to have given what is going on though. Let's see, we've got crude oil inventories at 11. So if you are trading crude today, obviously those inventories are probably going to matter a whole lot less than what's going on in Ukraine, but still watch out for those. Then we got a couple of FOMC members speaking, but again, I think all that information is going to pale in comparison to what's going on with Ukraine here. So starting with our dollar, let's look through and see what we have going on here. We are getting back up to close to a new weekly high now. Let's see, let me pull our weekly chart up. Let's take a look at this, and yeah, we're very close, but we got to get up to 97.47 for the new high there. But obviously with all the conflict going on, that's going to just continue to keep driving the dollar up. So depending on how long this stays out there, will certainly have an impact on how much further up the dollar goes here. That being said, obviously we would expect this to continue to go up, so we'll be looking for opportunities to either get long dollar if you're trading it, or we use it as the correlation, opposing correlation market for trading in either the Euro USD Forex pair or the European futures. Just taking a look at all of the charts here, and we've got something here on a 45-minute chart. And again, remember, we don't trade this, so I won't be marking these for actual trades, but just showing where we could potentially get movement here. And we got a nice little picture perfect zone right here. So we're going to drop it down. Leg out's longer on the second zone than it is for the first one. So we're going to drop this down into the second zone area here, and we'll just, this would be a place where we would look to go short on trading anything in the euro or any other opposing currency to the dollar. That's really about all that I'm seeing right now. Actually, we've got one here on the 180-minute as well. You can see right here the drop base rally, two base candles, and then a very strong rally out. And again, those candles are longer than the ones here, so we'd expect the move to come back down in. But since the zone is so big, I'll probably give it a little bit more room here. So we'll track this one as well. All right, so let's see if that, actually I'll look at the VIX first, and we'll see if that turns into anything on any of our European futures here. So on the VIX, we did break, clearly, right? We did break this line right here. At this point, I would expect that the VIX markets are going to continue to go up, and there is, yeah, we're back into, almost back into, the highlight of COVID-19 release areas here. So we're not going to have a whole lot of good zones or indicators of what things are going to be doing here. So as you can see, right, we've got a couple of zones here way up in the 56 and then 65 area, but nothing. I guess this, so the 44 one here, just to zoom in on this one, right? So 44 to 48 is a previously used zone. However, it was barely touched. See that right here. So this zone here actually would not surprise me at all if this one held. So I would mark that off your platform. Just keep an eye out on that 44 area. We could see that be a turning point there. All right, I'm just going to jump over real quick to our Euro USD. Again, this significant drop we see here on the just best viewed on the daily chart, and we are coming down, and we've got a ways to go, but we do have a couple of very nice zones down here at the 1.1 area and then 1.0. So, yeah, so it's all really in the 1.1 area here. So this, if this lines, actually, I didn't see it anywhere on the dollar where that lined up, but if price gets all the way down into these areas here, we could expect a fairly strong move out of there. It may not be the full turn, but it would certainly be a very strong move. Let's see what, okay, so this is I gotta clean this one up here, put that back into our tracker. So really we are, until we get closer to that area, we'll be just continuing to look to keep getting short here. A lot of our recent shorts have worked out very well for us. So just looking through, see if we've got anything that looks promising. Whew. Usually when it takes this long to try and find something, it means I'm like really pushing it and trying to put something in there. So we've got an area right here. There's a little bit of a look left. So we'll go halfway up into this zone here, and I'm just going to mark this one as to watch. There just aren't enough other indicators that it's something that I would just take right off the bat. So we'll watch that area right there. All right, I'm going to jump up into our index markets now. And so on the ES, so we did break this line right here, right? Candle, well, this candle hasn't closed below it yet, right? That would be today's candle. So we'll leave it up here until this today's candle actually closes out. And then we have, a couple of zones down here at 3964, 3900 that are fairly strong ones. But again, I am not expecting those zones to change the direction at this point unless we get another indication of it. Where we're really looking for the change is, on our weekly chart here, not down to the 3580 area. That would be a 20% drop from where we had that negative divergence on RSI and that would be where I would expect to actually see the market turn and continue to, and then go back up and start making new highs again. Actually, sorry, 30, because those are the ones that are in the 38 area. Just double checking that. All right, yeah, they're in the 39, 39 and 38. So we'll get back down to the 35 before anything actually turns around. So that means we need to keep looking for areas to get short in here. And So I'm gonna, same thing on 180. Actually, so this one right here, I'm saying it didn't have a good look left, but I'll pull this up full zone first, and what I'll sometimes do, depending on how far away it is, right? You can extend this left, and then we can actually go look. And let's see, there, right there. So you can see this zone right here, when you look left, took out this, major pivot right here. It's a really good indicator that there's something real there. So same thing with anytime I'm going short on an index market and move the zone up a bit here. So let's mark this one off. And so there's our target for this one. And let's go ahead and, so this is S&P 500 futures. And this is a 180-minute short. Entry is 42.10. Let's do 42.10. Stop 42.29. We'll just do 42.30 actually. And target 41.30.25. There we go. Mark that down here for me. Add that to our tracker. Let's see if there's anything else on a smaller. Let's see, that was, I said 42.10. Yeah. And a 45-minute, we've got another picture perfect zone here. Second leg second leg out is shorter than the first one, so this one would be, zone would be right here. Let's see, let's go ahead and mark this one up. A couple of really good opportunities here, so, oops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Text box. Same thing, right? S&P futures, yes. And this is a 45-minute short. Entry is 42.66.75. Stop 42.80. 0.25. Oops, sorry. 42.13. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to NASDAQ now. So a couple of really good points to note here on NASDAQ. So we had our weekly zones the year before. This one worked out very well for us, but there was still all the indications in the world that it was going to keep going down lower. So that's why we didn't completely reverse our position on the index markets themselves. So price came down, went up, hit our target, continued to drop now. So now we've gotten through this zone. We need the candle to close below it to confirm that we're moving down further here, but certainly all indications are that that's what's going to happen. And then on a daily chart, we actually did get the candle close on this one. below that line. So again, just more indications, right, that this is continuing to move lower and lower and lower. So we can go ahead and get rid of all of these now. Now we did get negative divergence on this when it hit before, but now we're going back lower again. So our bottom here for RSI is 24. On this one it's 28. So we still have negative divergence on RSI on a daily chart for the NASDAQ. But the other thing that we'll look at right here, right, we are creating additional supply zones as well. So just keep that in mind. When that happens, it usually is an indicator that markets are going to keep moving down. These would be opportunities it would be tough to use these because they're going to be so big. Your risk is going to be massive on them. But just to draw out the zones themselves, right? This is what they look like here. And again, protected and taking out the pivot lows to the left. So these are quick retracement zones, or if price comes all the way down further, like it would we showed it on the weekly charts for ES, and then come back up here, you wouldn't see these as trend changers, but you could definitely use them as overall trades. So NASDAQ, any areas to get short in on here? And I'm going to do the same thing I did on ES, but this zone here is lower, right? Because this was the area that ES took out. So just real quick to go and take a look at what this means to extend left. Oops, sorry. Make sure I can actually see that the whole way through. Now we do have actually a couple of good indicators of this thing working out as well. They're very, very far left, so I don't know how strong they are, but yeah, let's go ahead and zoom in on this one again. So again, with this one, I would put it, and NASDAQ's even spikier than anything else, so you put that one even further up into the zone here. And again, the other reason why this is so powerful is when you have the same zones in the same time frame across multiple indexes, it's usually a really good indication that those are fairly strong. This is NASDAQ futures NQ, and this is 180 minute short. Is 13,465, 465.5. Stop 13,552.5, and target is down at 13,117.5. Sorry, that should be a 13. I'm also going to look on the 45 minute, and we do have the same exact formation here. So I'm going to go up into the zone area. Okay, text for this one will be NASDAQ futures Q short entry 13,699. Oh, let's go 700. Stop is 13,749.75. 500.5. weekday RTY. So RTY, even though it was one of the stronger ones before, right, we're now down into that same breaking point area, which also coincided with the previously used zone. So we see, so it would not surprise me at all to see a move up from here, a smaller move, right, not a big one, just a correction, right, because when this one was used, it was used very, very close to the zone being created. So, and again, long wicks going into it, so clear amount of imbalance there. Wouldn't surprise, again, not surprised at all to see a bounce out of here, but this is not going to change the trend. We will look, once we get close below this though, we will look for that much bigger move down. And the same thing, we do have the demand zones or supply zones being created here, although they haven't taken this pivot out yet. So I'm actually not going to mark them. They have to take this pivot out, which means a candle has to close below this line before we call it actually taking it out. Okay. So we'll look on a weekly chart and see what we have here. Yeah, so we're coming into an area that I have marked just to watch, but it's because it's been used. There also isn't any look left area over here. So again, this just might be a good place again for that small correction back up, and then another bigger move back down again. The 180 minute on RTY isn't nearly set up as clean as the previous ones were. Same thing for the 45 minute. There isn't that same look left line up there, so I'm not going to mark those ones up. We'll just go on to the Dow. And so Dow almost closed last night below this line, but it's today's candle instead, so we have to wait for this one to happen. We do have another zone coming up though. A keynote here though, we don't have the negative divergence on RSI on the Dow. So, and yeah, this zone here is definitely not going to stop anything. We'll get a bounce out of it for sure, but it's not stopping anything. So yeah, this is the case of today where the data that we're looking at on the charts is lining up with, kind of your market sentiment, right? Where we know because of the conflict and everything going on over there that we expect things to keep dropping. Well, the price charts are telling us that things are going to keep dropping as well here. So let's look at the 180 minute area on the Dow, and we actually do have the same one we had on the ES. So that's a very positive thing. So you can see here, if I just extend left, right, took this area out here, that's a very good indication. And so let's zoom in on this one and get it set up. Same thing, I'm going to go partial ways up into it, drop that stop back down a bit. That helps us minimize our overall risk for this and gives us better return ratios. Put target in. So this is Dow Jones Futures. $180 minute short. Entry is 33.03. $144. Target is 32,439. All right. 45 minutes, got the exact same setup as well. We're going to set that one up again. I'm going to go partially up into the zone. Okay, so this is futures. Oh, ugh. Dow Jones futures YM. This is a 45-minute short, and entry 33,348. Stop is 33,436, and target is 32,994. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil now, and we had some obviously major movements overnight. I think we actually went all the way up through. We did. We went right through our monthly zone, and so the only thing here, right? This is somewhat of a picture perfect zone here. So, in theory, I'm going to mark this as in a couple of different ways, right? So, because this is a full zone, we'll also mark it as this entire area here. Now this would be one where obviously it's so big, right? You can't take this, but this is a $15,000 per contract risk right here. So what you do is you see these areas right here, you wait for the confirmation on like a daily, or a weekly or a daily chart that you're getting that move back down. I will say we do have negative divergence on RSI here, so that's one thing going for us. So once we see something on a weekly or daily chart that shows this really is the overall area, then we would look on those lower time frames and actually get into a trade here that you might want to hold on. You might go 3 or 4 contract cycles out so that you can hold on to that for a few months potentially. Or do something in, do options on it, or go in and use a ETF options. You could do USO, or let's see what some of the other ones we've got here. XLE as well, or sorry, XOP could be one. So there are other ways to take advantage of larger zones like that. So what does that mean for us today, though? Honestly, with the volatility, I would just be very hesitant to trade anything here. But if you're going to get on something, I would say get onto it long. But as I'm looking through this, right, like there's nothing really jumping out at me that says like this is the right area. This will be something that I would just, I will be watching throughout the day. As I see things coming up, and maybe a zone will be created later on a share bar chart, that would be a good place to get in with much lower risk. But like some of these zones and areas, even on like a 5-minute here, right? This technically a zone right here, but I mean you're talking a 5-minute, almost a 40-cent risk. I mean those zones are just huge for those small time frames. So let's just skip right through that. Look at your Euro futures. I looked at Euro USD already, and there really wasn't anything jumping out. Now, do on the Euro futures have this area right here. Reset. And zoom in. So this one right here, again, going up, somewhat up into the zone, right? Did take out this one to the left. So let's go ahead and label this one as well. So this is futures. This this will be a 15-minute short. Entry is 1.12118. 195 and target. Oops, 809. Yeah. Okay, gold. Obviously, gold, another one went screaming up, and I think it blew through every single zone that we had, even on our daily chart here. Yep, it sure did. Back up into a previously used zone as well here. Let me just change the color on this so we can see it better. I'll clean this up when I document all of these things, but we're back up in this area. So we've now hit last time gold was this high was back in on September of 2020. So obviously a significant move up there. Our RSI is still going up, so we have no indication that price is going to change direction on this one. So again, we would be looking to get into long positions here. But again, you know, it's with the volatility and the reason why it's going up, it's just very, very tough to make informed decisions on where it's going to go. So just be very, very cautious there. And you know, my trading history with gold is not so good, so I only look for like the best zones possible. And there, yeah, there's just nothing that I'm interested in. But kind of just as, you know, the example of this is why it can be tough to trade gold and why I'm not, I do struggle with it. Like you got a couple of, two zones right here. And if I had to rate these zones, right, this one right here, and then you had this one here, and then you've got this one right here. If I had to rate them, I would say the upper zone is the better one, the bottom zone is the next best one, and the middle one is the third one. In the middle is the worst of the three, and the middle one was the one that actually worked. So I just really do struggle with, you know, getting these things right, and so that's why I look for, you know, multiple indications that an area is going to work before I take a gold trade now. All right, Japanese yen. So we did have this one here that did not work for us. I set this one up the other day, and we got very, very close to it. Honestly, you know, when you look at the overall zone here, I would say probably more what happened is the entry just wasn't good. Right, because we used, so the leg out from the second zone was much longer than leg out from the first one, so that means your further in zone was probably had the higher probability of working, and in this case, the halfway point really was the right to trade to take here. So we'll document this, make sure we get this into our data points that it did not work. That would have been that was a loss. Again, you know, downtrend on the monthly and weekly charts, but we're in an uptrend on a daily. No, actually, we said this one was a downtrend still. Yeah, we're still in the overall downtrend. So only looking for shorts here, and yeah, just not seeing anything there. Natural gas, I think, did break our area on the 240. So yes, it did. Yep, so therefore this second trade here on the natural gas, if you still had that in play, trade number 2 down here, that comes off. So we're just looking to close above this candle here to the left, and this candle here did at 2 a.m. this morning. So yeah, so the first trade is one that worked out, and the second one it would not work again if price comes back down in here. looking for any other potential longs to get into. Yeah, just not seeing anything. Let's go to Nikkei. So again, we came ever so close to getting in on our 45-minute short here. Again, just to show you how picture perfect zones work. All right, this was another one, and I had said that these two candles were the same length. I mean, they are the same length there. And so that's why I chose, to get a deeper entry. In reality, like, this is the full zone. So when I document this on my tracker, what I'll say is that my entry didn't work, but the full zone itself did, right? Because if you had drawn this out the way that you used the full entire zone was to right here, we got entry, and obviously prices just continue to drop from there. So make sure that we document that correctly. And we do have the same area here on the 180 that we do on the other indexes. Zoom in on this one. Alright, so this is Japanese, or sorry, Nikkei. Futures NK. This is a 180-minute short entry 26284. Stop 26394. And target 25844. Okay, and then I want to make sure we get to, before I have to end up here, I want to make sure we get to our bonds, because we did have, obviously with, with what went on overnight, we had a significant spike up in bonds, which was absolutely expected right in the market's drop. Bonds are where you run to. And obviously we see here, right, this trade did not work, and we'll document that. I'm not seeing anything else here that's going to let me continue to get short on this. We are very close to hitting the target for this other counter trend trade here, but again, not one that we label it as a trade because it is a counter trend, but just again, keeping track of it, taking notes, making sure it's in our data points. Let's look at US. See if anything jumps out at us there. And I'm just looking at these things. There's just nothing else for a while. And again, with everything going on, you're probably going to see bonds continue to move up a bit. All right, let me just pull up Bitcoin real quick before we end to show where it's going. Right, another significant drop on that overnight too. Again, it seems to be mirroring the major market indexes at this point and not working as any type of a hedging option. And so on the, we do still have the potential here on the daily chart for us to, when we drop below this point here to the left, we could have some negative divergence on RSI, I'm starting to more and more treat these as working with the index markets themselves and not as opposing markets or hedge markets for them. So I think we'll just continue to see cryptocurrencies drop just the same way the indexes are as well. With that, we'll go ahead and end for the day. I'll post as many of these trades up as I can. Really, I'll probably just put a reference to the sessions, and so we're so many of them instead of trying to post them all individually. But thanks all for watching and participating. If this was helpful, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you get notifications when we do additional sessions here. Again, with everything going on, have a happy and very safe trading day today, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.